Hey everyone, Cat Rod back again, and I'm actually doing something quite new this time. So, as you guys have seen from my previous videos, I am a really big fan of romance. I love the drama it's involved with, and just basically like something romance that makes you want more. And I found this amazing book by Mackenzi Lee. It is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, and I am in love with this book. So basically, what this book is about Henry Montague, aka they call him Monty. He is a young earl that is going on a grand tour as a final hurrah before he inherits his father's estate. Now, what I love about this book is that Monty is actually something quite different. So he has a friend named Percy, who is a biracial character, and his sister Felicity. Now, throughout this book, it is a lot of teasing between Monty and Percy of will they, won't they get together, and I am in love with it. Mackenzie has such a great writing with this book. It's well paced, and it just leaves you wanting more, because not only are you addicted to seeing these characters get together, but there's a lot more conflict within this book, not just about these characters getting together, but all the problems they face with that time. Because when this book takes place, it's around the 18th century. So remember, homosexuality is not a welcoming thing, and neither is the racial status of anyone like Percy. So they do face quite a bit of conflict with that. Monty has to kind of quote unquote hide who he really is, but they are a really great character dynamic. It is such a great book. They go on this grand adventure throughout this entire book. It's quite thick, and I read this in maybe about a week. So if you guys love romance and you love adventure, you are gonna enjoy this book really well. What I love about most is that excuse me, the author actually did a lot of her research. She left footnotes in the back of the book stating what problems were facing during this time, what other conflicts and problems were also during that time, and also basically she did quite a bit of her research. So that's really good that not only did the author put a lot of work into this, but she also did a lot of research too, because something like this is always a little bit hard to read, because not a lot of people now like to fluff up history, like, oh yeah, this didn't happen or that didn't happen. It's like, no, because of that time there was a lot of misunderstanding with illnesses, a lot of misunderstanding with sexuality. Back then you had to be a perfect model, and that is something that Monty had to face throughout this book, is saying like, I don't want to be this way, but I kind of have to, because there is no other way for me to live. And that is something that I really enjoyed in this book. So I'm actually going to read part of it, that way you can guys see why I really liked it so much, and so on and so forth. Let's see. Alright. Okay. Cheshire, England, 17 something. We don't know the exact year, but it does set up like kind of like the timing. On the morning we are to leave for a grand tour on the continent, I wake up in bed beside Percy. For a disorienting moment, it isn't clear whether we slept together or we simply slept together. Percy still has all his clothes on from the night before, albeit most of it in neither the state nor the location they were in the originally donned. While the bed covers are a bit roughened, there's no sign of any strumming, so although I've got nothing on but my waistcoat, by some sorcery now buttoned back to the front, and one shoe, it seems to assume we both kept on our bits to ourselves. Which is strange, some sort of relief, because I like to be sober the first time we are together. If there ever is a first time, which is starting to seem like there won't be. Besides me, Percy rolls over, narrowly avoiding thwacking me across the nose when he tosses his arm over his head. His face settles into the crook of my elbow as he tugs far more than his share of the bedclothes to his side without waking. His hair stinks of cigars, and his breathing is rancid. Though, judging by the taste rolling around the back of my throat, a Vulture Tinkerage, a baptized gin, and a stranger's perfume mine wears. From other side of the room, there's a snap of drapes being pulled, and sunlight assaults me. I throw my hands over my face. Percy flails awake, caw like a raven's. He tries to roll over, finds me in this path, and keeps rolling away, and ends up on top of me. My bladder protests and soundly to this. We must have drunk an extraordinary amount last night. If it's hanging this heavily over me, and here I was starting to feel rather smug with my ability to fox out of my mind most nights. And then by functioning human by the next afternoon, provided the afternoon in question is a late one. Which is when I realize why I am both early and racked, still a little drunk. It isn't the afternoon when I accustomed to racing. It's quite early in the morning, because Percy and I are leaving for the continent today. "Good morning, gentlemen," St. Clair says from the other side of the room. I only make out his silhouette against the window. He's still torturing us with this goddamn sunlight. "My lord," he continues, with a brow inclined in my direction, "your mother sent me to wake you up. Your carriage is scheduled to leave within the hour, and Mr. Parwell and his wife are taking tea in the dining room." From somewhere near my navel, Percy makes an affirming noise in response to his uncle and his aunt's presence, a noise that resembles no human language. "And your father arrived from London last night, my lord," St. Clair adds to me. "He wishes to see you before you depart." Neither Percy nor I move. The lone shoe, still clinging to my foot, surrenders and hits the floor with the hollow thunk of a wooden heel on oriental carpet. "Should I give you both a moment to recover your senses?" St. Clair asks. "Yes," Percy and I say in unison. St. Clair leaves, and I hear the door latch behind him. Outside the window, I can hear the carriage wheels cracking against the gravel. Against the gravel drive, the calls of the grooms as they yoke the horses. Then Percy lets out a grisly moan, and I start to laugh for no reason. He takes a swipe at me and misses. "What? You sound like a bear." "Well, you smell like a bathroom floor." He slides his head He slides his head first off the bed, gets tangled in the sheets, and ends up doing a sort of bent waist headstand with his cheeks against the carpeting. His foot runs into my stomach, a little low for comfort, and my laugh turns into a grin. "Steady on there, darling." So that's just the first few pages, and it did catch my eye after the first chapter. It's like, ooh, they're already lovers. They're hiding their relationship, and no, it does not go that way. This author has a way of teasing you throughout the whole entire book, making you think like, will they, won't they, will they, won't they? And I was reacting to this book quite well. I feel bad because I was reading it out in public, and I'm sure I scared quite a few people with my reactions. But yeah, so if you guys have time and you do love a good LGBT romance novel, you are gonna love this book. I highly recommend it. So yeah, enjoy, guys. Alright, so I gotta get going. This thing is sweaty and I want to get comfortable, so I'll see you guys around. Bye bye.